Hello everyone, Helena here, Kelly here. Welcome to Speaker Insight, where we help speakers, authors and coaches build a business on your terms. And as some of you know, we always start this session with what is the buzz in your business, and we always ask you to put in the comments below what the buzz in your business is, because we really are interested. We really do want to know, and you never do it. So go on, what's the buzz in your business? And whilst I'm telling you what the buzz is in our business, you can get a sense of what that actually means. The buzz in your business is really helping people understand what you've been up to so that you can actually be entertaining, informative, inspiring, interesting in that way. So we have, I personally last week ran a vision board workshop, which is always a good thing to do because it kind of merges that inner and outer. What do I want to create in the world, but also how do I want to feel in the world, and how do I want to actually be? So a vision board is one of the best ways of doing that. So I ran a workshop last week. That's one of the bits of buzz in our business. Our dear friend Chris Day is running his Authorcraft evening tonight. So for any of you that would really like to do that, by all means do.
And Michael Dodd.
And Michael Dodd as well, indeed. And so we believe that there are going to be some Connection Hub members there.
Amanda's going, so if you want to meet up, it's a really good, Authorcraft is for authors, obviously, to help you build an author business, and Chris Day's one of our hybrid publishers.
Yeah.
So it's good to always, if you're thinking of publishing a book, it's good to go along just to connect to him and learn about the publishing industry.
Completely.
But tonight they're talking about, this is one of Michael's specialisms, is how to do interviews with PR and media. So I know that's why Amanda's going, because she's got something coming up, right?
She does. And so for you to do anything that allows you to get better at what you're doing is always what we're going to encourage you with. So
I'll put the link in the comments. If you want to go tonight, it's
Brilliant.
on tonight in London at the IOD, so you can get your tickets and go to the Authorcraft event tonight.
Fantastic. And for those of you who don't know what the Connection Hub is, that's the group where speakers, authors and coaches meet and can connect to people like the publishers and other amazing resources and people that we've actually got in there. So do come and join the fun, because we can have more of a conversation in there and get to know you a little bit better, which is really good. The other thing that we've been doing, and this is not sexy, but it is necessary.
I think it's sexy.
I think it's sexy too, but we know that as speakers, authors and coaches, you probably don't think it's sexy. But actually, in the last week, we've completed, basically over the last month, we've been working hard behind the scenes, and we've completed 4 opt-ins. And for those of you who don't know what that means, definitely come and join us in the Connection Hub. But we've completed 4 opt-ins with all of the back-end systems set up and everything in there, so that we are automating even more in our business. And we've created some really nice resources that we know people would really like. And whilst it doesn't necessarily kind of qualify for some people as buzz in our business, it actually is one of the things that allows us to build a business on our terms. And that's the important piece, isn't it?
And it will be a buzz, because we're building the Connection Hub every week. We get another 50, 100 members. We're just gone over 1,200 this week or whatever.
Woohoo!
And the point is, we're growing that group, and we teach you how to grow your Facebook groups, okay? But what we also want to do is we want to build a database.
Yes.
So that's the point of the opt-ins, is how do we build a database as well as a Facebook group, so we can talk to you via email and build more of a relationship that way, and target information to come specifically into your inbox. Yeah. Which is why we create opt-ins that we know that you want. As well as they're nice to have.
Totally agree.
You guys have asked for this stuff, and we've got another one that's coming out for you today.
It's really exciting.
That's exactly what Daisy says she's working on at the moment, is building her MailChimp site.
Ah, brilliant.
I know you just asked a question, Daisy, so I'll get back to that as well. We were just about to go live.
Yeah.
So really the thing that we're working on today is for speakers, authors and coaches who your stuff's working, right? So you've got clients, you've maybe got a published book.
Agreed.
You've got speaking gigs. So you know that there's a demand, and you know that what you're talking about is working.
Yeah.
What we want to help you guys with today is how to go from good to great.
Exactly. Like Jim Collins.
Yeah. Jim Collins has got a great book called Good to Great. So if you want to learn a little bit more about
the
behind
mechanics
the
kind of
scenes.
behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Again, you know, sort of, it is really important to begin to understand that to actually get to the next level, so to speak, you do need to do things differently.
Yeah.
You do need to actually kind of learn from what's gone before. So reading books like Good to Great kind of help inspire you in that way
They make
as well.
you just take yourself out of what you already know
Yeah.
and think outside the box.
Yes.
So what we know is that people are coming to us and say, who are in this situation where they know their stuff works,
Yeah.
and they're going, yeah, but now I've hit a wall.
Yeah.
Right? I want to grow. I want to either increase my size of database or my reach or my income or my gigs or my clients.
Or it goes to, actually, I want to reduce the amount of days that I'm actually working. I don't want to be working 5 days a week anymore. I actually want to be working 3 or 3.5, or I want to be doing it differently.
Yeah.
So it's not always about increasing, but on your terms means I want to be doing something differently that feels much better for me in the business and would be so much better for me in the business.
And more effective, right?
Exactly.
Some of the things we're going to talk about. And if you missed our Facebook Live last week, we did do a Facebook Live about Are You Busy Being Busy?
Yeah.
So go back and check that one out if you haven't seen it, because there was an awesome resource there for you to actually be more productive in your business.
Yeah.
But the stage of what we're talking about from going good to great today
Yes.
is actually you don't know what you don't know, okay? Because to do what you've done to get you to this level of success is great. But probably what you've done this way has been a bit of luck, being in the right place.
Together,
Yeah.
kind of, accidental success.
Yes, you might have taken on all the opportunities and, you know, you've just done stuff to get yourself out there.
Yeah.
That's not going to get you to the great level. Okay,
Agreed.
so we need to be a lot more proactive and
Planning.
and strategic
Yes.
around how to do that. And with that comes awareness and insight. So there are two things. If you want to jump from good to great,
Yes.
two things you need to work on is your mindset
Yeah.
and what you're measuring.
Yes.
Okay, so what do I mean by that? Mindset is, have you got clarity on what success is? Do you know what great looks like?
Yes.
Okay, what is that result? What's that outcome? How are you going to know that you've met it? And do you know that you've got the support and the resources around you to help you go to the next level?
Exactly.
Because most of the time, most people don't break through that wall because they're trying to do everything themselves.
That's it.
They've got limited skills and resources, limited capacity, and you end in burnout and you don't do what Helena says and build it on your terms.
And you tend to kind of go feast and famine. You do one thing really well and then you do another thing and then you do another thing. That's not going to get you to great.
Yeah. And then the other thing, which is the measuring. Right? It's a really boring word for most people, unlike us geeky types.
We quite like it, obviously.
But the point is, when I ask people, like, what's working in your business?
Yeah.
They don't really know.
That's right. It's like, well, I'm getting gigs
clients.
or I'm getting clients and they like it. I've got some testimonials, but you go, yeah, and as a foundational base for you to actually build a business of your dreams, the business that's sustainable, profitable, and scalable, actually, you need to know the answers.
How did you get those gigs,
That's
those
right.
clients? What was the marketing methodology to get you there? What were the conversion ratios? How much of that do you need to do? How much spend did you put behind it, or time did you put behind it?
And which one of those methods, this is the one that we always find, is that when we say to people, yes, okay, it's working, yes, you filled that workshop, or yes, you got that gig, but which one of the routes was it? Was it the Facebook ad? Was it the fact that you were engaged in a group? Was it the fact that you had word of mouth recommendations? What was it that did the trick?
Yeah.
Most people can't answer that.
And it's not just about measuring marketing,
No.
okay? It's measuring the 5 elements of your business, which we're going to go through in a bit later.
Yeah.
So everything from your sales, from your operations, from your team, from your finances, and your marketing. So you need to be aware of, like, in all of these elements, because you are a business owner.
Yes, you are.
I say this so many times, you're not just a speaker, author, or coach. If you want to go to the next level, you need to have a business.
Yeah,
right?
which is that mindset of, I own a business, I'm responsible for the business, I'm responsible for what goes on inside it and what it does out in the world.
Yeah, definitely. So we're going to talk about being streamlined, right? And
Yes.
what that actually means.
Exactly. So it's really great to understand that, you know, sort of the difference between, I'll start that again. There's a real distinction between being productive and being effective and being efficient. And a lot of the time people kind of lump those three things together. It's like, I must be more productive. It's like, well, do you know what that means? And measurement is actually one of the things that can come in. So I am going to refer to the dictionary definitions. You know, I have a love for those.
But it's really good. When Helena's going through these definitions, just ask yourself the question as she goes along to see if you are what the definition actually means.
Completely agree. So in terms of being productive, the true kind of definition of it isn't necessarily about people. It was originally kind of used for things. So it's actually producing or being able to produce large amounts of goods, crops, or other commodities. So it's actually your ability to create and produce. How that translates for you as a speaker, author, or coach is actually, you know, what range of products? Do you have a range of products that's actually enabling your business to run without you having to be the person delivering it the whole time? Do you need a lot, do you need to reach a lot of people, or are you capped due to your own ability to deliver? Because if there's only you and all of it involves you, then that caps your capacity right then and there, right?
So that's where like digital products come in.
Exactly.
Because you can have, there's no capacity, there's no geographical boundaries. You can reach 10 people or 10 million people in the same hour.
Exactly.
And it makes no difference to you, right?
Which means you would be more productive if you had a range that allowed you to sometimes be the person delivering and sometimes to have been the person who produced something that people can still consume without you being there.
Yeah.
So that's productive. Efficient is a really interesting one. That is about you, and that's about you achieving maximum productivity with minimum wasted resources or expenses. So what does that mean for you as a speaker, author, coach? That's really about, have you got the systems and processes in place, like the rhythms that allow you to automate your sales, your marketing? Do you have something in place that allows you to outsource all the things that you don't like or can't do very well, like that you're not as good at? Because actually, you being efficient might look like you shipping out the things that you can't do very well.
And that's what we covered in the Busy Being Busy Facebook last week. So you want to download that resource that we had.
Completely.
Because then you'll see in there what we covered. And are you busy doing stuff that really is not high end for you, not productive because it takes you a lot of time.
Yes, and because it doesn't get you the result that you want. So part of productive is getting you that result, whether that is the sale, the increase in reach, the more engagement, whatever that actually is. But efficiency is about the way in which you're going about it. And effectiveness is actually you making the most of your productivity married to your efficiency so that you are being effective with your time, energy. You know, we talk about on your terms, with your time, your energy, your resources, your money and your skills, right? So the chances are that you're probably at the stage where your success has just been sort of arrived, as you know, Kelly said earlier. You've been working really hard, you've been accepting all the opportunities, you've been figuring things out, you've been saying yes to things and then being at the right place in the right time. But that really isn't going to necessarily be perpetuated at that next level. So game-changing success is actually really different, and we really like to kind of pull you to a higher level. You need to plan for game-changing success. It isn't accidental, it isn't just organic, it's definitely not incidental where you happen to be. You need to show up where you know you need to show up in order to generate the business that you can. Yeah. So the way that you start to do that shift towards that is to get really clear about what's working and what's not working. And the way you do that is to put some systems and structures in place around the measurements.
Yeah. It's a word that you're going to hate, but when you get used to it and you're doing it in a way that makes sense to you and it's not scary to you, you're going to love it, because you're just going to say, I know what works, and I'm going to focus on that.
I'm sat here smiling because I'm remembering one of the people at our retreat. Like we actually did some stuff around measurement and everything else, and I remember her just sitting there, just going really quiet for a moment and just going, oh my God, I think I love numbers.
And spreadsheets.
And it was so good, because actually spreadsheets, numbers, tracking, measurement, are the key to your success at the next level. So,
and we really want you to be able to make that difference as a speaker, author, or coach, right? We want you to be able to scale. We want you to be able to make the money that you are setting yourself as that clarity of that success. What does that figure look like?
Yeah.
We want you to feel valued.
Yes.
So we want you to actually be showing up, and when you actually put some work and effort into something, to think, you know, I feel valued. I feel not just doing stuff and churning stuff out and it's not getting any engagement or it's not getting any conversion. It's actually landing and people are loving it.
Completely agree.
And also it's the fact that we want your products and services to be in demand.
Yes.
Right? Because that's just going to give you that confidence that you know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And other people are hearing you,
Yeah.
they're getting the results from your messages, and you're getting the results that you need from helping those people.
And the chances are that the reason that you know, your big why and the reason that you got into the business in the first place is because you really want to make a difference. And so we want you to be able to make that difference in the best way possible. We've got all the geekies. Like, we're just looking at the comments that are coming in.
And Jo's a real geek like us, right? And she loves the measure things.
Yeah.
And she says sometimes what you think works isn't working, can change when you actually look at the numbers.
Completely.
And of course we've got good old Ian, right?
Gotta love your numbers.
And why would Ian say that? Because that's what he does for a business,
That's
right?
right. That's right.
So we love that. So what we want to talk you through today, in order to help you get used to this habit and this process, is take you through our 4-step process.
Yeah.
To
So
actually help with your mindset and to help with your measuring.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's something that we use on a regular basis. That
On a monthly
basis. You know, we really do recommend that you do this on a monthly basis as a minimum, because the numbers make the difference.
Yes. Yeah.
So
this 4-step process, I'm going to give you. Don't worry about writing all this down, because we've got a beautiful download, of course, one of our opt-ins.
Yes.
To give you at the end of this, which has got everything we talk about in detail and some exercises for you to work through and a chart to work through on a monthly basis.
Yeah.
But the 4-step process that we're actually going to cover is actually, first of all, what you do is you reflect.
Yeah.
Then you track. Then you review,
and then you
tweak, right? So let's just talk you through these 4 steps of what you need to be doing on a monthly basis to really have that game-changing success that Helene was talking about.
Yeah.
So the first step is all about reflection.
Yeah.
So you need to take this time out, rather than just being busy like we spoke about.
Yeah.
You need to take some time out just once a month
Yeah.
to actually go, okay, for half a day or an hour or 2 hours,
Yeah.
I'm going to sit down, I'm going to reflect on my business, right? And these are some great questions to ask yourself. Don't worry, these are in the document, but you can do it as we go along here. I want you to define what the success is for you, right?
Yes.
So this month, what were you setting as your targets? What was your aim? Maybe you've got a 90-day goal that's broken down into monthly 30-day goals.
That's what we would recommend.
Yeah, that's what we recommended on our last Facebook Live. So what is the goal for this month?
Yeah.
And then have you broken that down into smaller targets or smaller achievements or smaller
Agreed.
tasks? So I really want you to get clear on the mindset of what does success look like for you.
Yeah.
Success is not always about money.
No.
Okay, and a lot of people think if they're not earning that, or they've not set a figure, then they're not successful.
I agree.
But sometimes, especially early on in the business, or you're building a new product range, you've got 3 months worth of product creation and marketing material and all this stuff where you put so much work in and there's so much stuff created, but it's not out there.
It's not out there. And so success might look like the first download of your next thing, or it might look like actually that is now out on the shelves, so to speak, and selling. That, so it can be, for some it can actually be this quarter I've been able to donate 10% of my takings through to the charity that I hold. So it's different for different people.
It is. The other really good question to ask yourself is actually, how are you feeling about your business, right? Because this is a really good indication of success as well, because you might be earning the numbers and you might be hitting the targets, but you might feel completely flat, burnt out, drained, exhausted, and that's not building a business on your terms.
Or just out of love with it. You might actually feel a little bit disinterested in it. You might have lost your mojo for it, right?
So ask yourself, how are you feeling about your business? It's also good to ask yourself, so this month, what's got you to the stage that you're at? So wherever you're at, you reflect and you find out, okay, this is where I'm at, this is where I am with my goals and my outcomes.
Yeah.
And what's been the supportive things that have actually helped me get there?
Yeah.
Has it been certain events, certain people in your life, certain resources, skills, software, whatever it might be, that's actually helped you there. And you need to acknowledge that to make sure that you keep that book or that mentor or whoever it is handy to help you on the next stages of growth. Right?
Or maybe it's actually that you've started doing something a slightly different way and it's really working for you, or you've started doing something in a slightly different way and it's really not working for you. It's simply about reflecting on what's got me to this stage of the business and what's working for me, what's not working for me.
And in our Changemaker Central membership site, in one of our modules, we've got a resource which is called Like, Love, Loathe.
Yeah.
And that basically is actually looking at all the business activities you're doing and assessing what you like doing, what you love doing, what you loathe doing.
That's right.
Because things could change, right?
Yes.
As I said, we set Connection Hub and Speaker Insight up in January.
Yes.
And February was my first ever Facebook Live. You know, I was cracking my pants and had to do about 20 different reruns of a Facebook Live before I went live. So I would have put loathed as Facebook Live 6 months ago, right? And now
is it
I'm
a
not
lie?
I'm
is
not
it
loving
a lie?
It's a lie. I don't like being on camera, but it's not a love, but I like it, right? Because I love chatting to you guys and helping you.
Yeah.
So it's moved from a loathe to a live. So that's quite a good exercise to go, what am I liking in my business? Right? What
And
do I like doing?
you know, and back to the retreat example, honestly, you start to see things differently as success changes, which is why we ask you to reflect on what success is on a monthly basis, because even that definition shifts and changes.
Yeah. So do some reflection work about how you're feeling in your business, how you're feeling supported wise, what you think is working, what you're enjoying, what your goals are, how on track you are.
Yes.
Just to do that, take some time out to reflect, right? That's the first stage.
And then comes stage 2, tracking. So
Only us would get excited.
I
about
know,
that.
right? Oh, no. There are people on this live at the
yeah,
moment
yeah.
who will also go, woohoo! They'll be getting their pom-poms out at home. It's like, yay!
I'm just
hurrah for the
imagining Ian
numbers.
Kay with pom-poms. Sorry, Ian.
We now expect a photo, Ian, with pom-poms. Thank you. Right, okay. So, tracking. So, step 2 is absolutely about tracking. So, this is about you setting targets. And if it's the first time that you're doing it, if this is you going, do you know what, I am good, but this is missing, and I need to put some of these in, there's going to be some consideration time needed for you to think about what is the tracking that you can do. Now, don't worry too much. Like in the download, we've actually got 2 pages of things that you could track,
right?
But there are 5 core elements that you can really put some things in around tracking, and you need to choose, because each business is individual.
Yeah.
You need to choose.
In the download,
don't do all of them. Good God, don't do all of them. Like that, you will be overwhelmed and it will not be necessary.
It's really important to say this actually, that the thing that you track should be linked to the monthly goal.
Yes.
Or the 90-day goal.
Yes.
Right? So if it is the fact that you're wanting to grow your Facebook group by 1,000 people in 3 months' time, then obviously you need to be tracking the marketing activities to actually get you to that group. It's not about
Agreed.
a product creation thing. It's like how many, because that's a completely different goal.
Yeah.
So don't think the list that we have given you quite a big list.
It's extensive. But the point about it is that you can actually, there are going to be some things that you track on a regular basis in your business that will allow you to understand the peaks and troughs, that will allow you to know whether you're in that feast or famine kind of run, that will allow you to understand what percentage you're, for example, growing your group by. Because if you know that one of the money-making activities in your business is to grow the numbers of people who are engaging with you, then tracking the number of people who are engaging with you makes sense, right? It's just obvious. And then you can actually start to pull out the actions around, well, if my percentages are constantly going up and I had a big hike last month, what did I do last month that allowed me to do it? So that's where reflection and tracking start to come together. So the 5 core areas that we've got for you that you can do tracking in, and I would highly recommend that thinking about at least tracking one thing in each of these areas is a good, useful thing on a monthly basis as a standard is going to be useful, and you'll know what they are. So marketing, sales, operations, the delivery within the business, finance, and your team or talent. So that could be your outsourcers as well as yourself in that way. So all of those will have some measurables that will affect either up or down, impact your bottom line in some way in the business, right?
So and that's what the download's all about, to really help you get in the habit of setting targets and tracking in those areas of your business, because you are a business owner.
Correct.
Okay? So
we are calling you into that place.
So the third step is about review. So once you've looked at the reflection piece and you've looked at what is going on, what the numbers look like, then you need to be saying, okay, let's analyse this. Let's look at what we've got here, because let's say, for example, you're looking at your marketing one and your marketing goal was about lead generation. And you look and say, well, hang on a minute, just as Helena said, there was a big spike. It might be that you converted so much higher from doing a speaking gig on stage, which was a free gig, but it was a lead gen gig, than putting Facebook ads behind your opt-in, your lead magnet, which was online.
That's exciting! Because guess what? Now the next activity that you can start to build in is more speaking
gigs, right? So you know that actually you're much better on stage than actually just having a download on digital. So you're not saying you stop doing the digital, but where the money and the efforts and the time goes more into the speaking gigs, because you've got the measurement numbers that says this is where your sweet spot is, this is where your conversions happen. Right?
Which means you can be more efficient with your time, your energy, right? So you put your efforts, you can tweak. It's a little bit like kind of, steering a big oil tanker. You'll turn the wheel tiny bit. We call it moving the needle. So you'll literally turn it 1 degree, and it might take a little while for the oil tanker to kind of come with you, but once it's going in a really good direction, and it's proven by the numbers that it works for you, right? So what's not to love about that?
And I love, from a review point of view, to actually have the documents that we give you on a monthly basis as an annual. Because what you'll start to do is, over time, you'll see trends.
Exactly.
And you can actually forecast efforts and cash flows and things like that. I know a lot of you will probably be in a similar situation to me, where I'm taking most of the summer off, right, to be with Mia and do school kid activities. We're doing,
which is kind of fun for me, because it means that, like, for the first time ever, I get to do that too. How
so
weird is
I've
that?
got like the crystal maze we're going to do together,
we're quite
escape
excited.
rooms, all that type of fun stuff. But what that means is I'm less productive over these sort of 6 to 8 weeks. So I need to make sure that what's automated, what's going on in the background, what's the cash flow look like? Have I got residual streams of income coming in? So having a look at the review and looking when spikes happen in activities and conversions and sales in your marketing and sales is a great thing to have as a forecast. So you can predict next year. We're really quiet in January for whatever reason.
Sorry. Keep going. No, I'm just smiling because Ian's probably like kind of sitting there rubbing his hands with glee at the moment. But Kelly's absolutely right. I mean, I was actually talking to a client over the weekend about the fact that seasonality really impacts her year, and so she needs to plan for things differently. Now, what that actually means in her business is that we make sure we ramp up advertising and Facebook sort of ads for a particular product that she has at certain times of the year, because at other times of the year she's busy actually in-person delivering. So the products that go out and do well seasonally, so you need to be aware of what those trends are.
And it's just like my husband, right? We know that we can take the summer off because he works mainly with corporates, and actually there's not a lot of corporate speaking gigs or stuff over the summer because most of them take the time off. So it works really well for us, but we need to be aware of that. So that's the review bit. It's actually looking at, what are these numbers that I'm tracking and measuring? How do I interpret them? What do I do with them? Now I can see these trends and what's going on. What do I do with it?
Agreed.
That's the final stage.
So we get to stage 4, which is tweak. So on the back of the numbers, on the back of understanding the impacts that are actually going on, now you get to decide, you get to choose what to act on that the numbers are telling you, because the numbers are really telling you a story. So you want to be actually the person then in charge of saying, right, well, so back to our example earlier, okay, well, doing the speaking gig really worked for me. So let me test that. So let me go and get another couple of speaking gigs. And actually Christine Nicholson did exactly this on the back of something that we did way back when we did the speaking gigs.
Yeah, so we've got one of our downloads is a directory of over 200 stages that you can speak on. Yeah. And she went through that directory and just contacted all the people.
That's it.
And God, I don't know how many gigs
she got 7 off the back of it, and those are now producing more, because of course the more you do of something, the easier it is to build a reputation, and now you get known for being a speaker. So what that means is you get to decide on the back of the numbers. There might be one tiny change that you can make that will exponentially make a difference in your business. So if that means that you were looking for lead gen, you have suddenly realized that actually in an audience of 100 people you might get 20 people that you can follow up leads with. Before you know it, if your conversion rate is, I don't know, 1 in 4, that's 5 new people doing something with you on a regular basis, all on the back of you getting 1 speaking gig. So you get the idea that actually the difference between a business in which you're happy and kind of going about what's happening, and you're really and you being completely proud of actually what's going on, that's the difference that makes the difference. It's the tracking and the deciding what to do next.
And that's the word, right? This allows you to make informed decisions.
Hurrah!
Right? Because some of you are just at that stage where you are just saying yes to opportunities. And I'm like, well,
but why?
Yeah, if you don't know that you convert well from doing free speaking gigs, then don't keep on doing them. Yeah. Unless you're doing it to get footage for speaker show reels and all that type of stuff. If it's not something that's working for you, don't keep on doing it.
That's right. And here's the first thing. If we just talked a whole bunch of gobbledygook in that last 2 minutes when you were going, what does conversion rate mean? We would suggest that actually the first place that you start to actually look at is, I'm going to start tracking what my conversion rate is, i.e. how many people do I need to speak to in order to actually get a gig or sell a product?
Or get a client, right?
Exactly.
How many prospective meetings do I do where I do a consultation with somebody to then convert them into a client? These are key numbers that you need to know in your business. Otherwise you are running around like a headless chicken.
And here's the thing, in order to not run around and in order to be efficient and productive, what we would highly recommend is you do 1 change.
Yes.
And you focus on that 1 change, certainly for the month and or over the year, so that you can begin to build those trends up so that you can make informed decisions. Because actually looking at the trends over 3-6 months allows you to begin to understand that rhythm in your business. Yeah. So and one thing at a time, not overwhelming.
No, and it's not just that it's not overwhelming. If you change everything at once,
you won't know
what's working. You don't know what had the impact, right? So you just go, let me just tweak this for this month, as Helena said, moving the needle 1 degree, and then let's see if that had an exponential effect. Yeah. If it does, then we keep on doing it, and we go to another element of our business. It's even when I go down to marketing and we look at opt-in pages and we're looking at changing it, I would 2 things I mainly change is the title and the image, right? To see if that actually increases the conversion ratio just on your opt-in pages.
But and never both at the same time.
Exactly what I was going to say. So you don't do them both at the same time. So it's exactly the same with your business, right? We need to be looking and monitoring and testing and tweaking and measuring everything.
Now, let me tell you, I absolutely know that there are speakers, authors and coaches out there who are falling into the I'm going to yell at the screen any minute now, because you're not a patient lot. And we're suggesting that 1 change at a time to see the effect of it is going to build your business better than you throwing everything at it. So,
and it's going to build your confidence.
And that's because patience builds confidence, and knowledge builds confidence. Because actually, if you take the time to reflect on what's working, what's not working, start actually tracking so you can begin to see the trends. Start reviewing and analysing what's actually going on, and then make the tweak. That is the difference between good and great, right?
And that's why I've just put the link in the comments for you to download our What's Working in Your Business guide. So it just summarises the 4 steps that we've just been through, and it gives you that grid to actually look and print off, or it's an editable PDF so you can fill it in every month. And we've given you the whole list of suggestions, not exhausted, but quite
it's detailed.
And so you can choose the things that are related to your monthly goal of what are you going to track and measure and review and set that mindset on.
And we would love, do come and join us in the Connection Hub. Tell us what you actually think of it. Ask for help in there, because we understand, we absolutely know that this is one of those ones. If you've made it to the end and you're watching, then congratulations, because we know that this can be a real sticky point for a lot of business, a lot of speakers, authors and coaches who are just stepping into being business owners, or business owners who are going, how on earth do I get to the next stage? And this is that piece. So we're going to handhold you through. By all means, reach out if you need the assistance.
Definitely, definitely. Just don't be scared of it.
Please.
Right? It's not numbers that are jargon to you. These are numbers that you will understand. And when you've got clarity on them...
Oh my God, you'll come to love them.
Yeah.
But most importantly, this is about you. These will facilitate you doing what you want to do in the world. So go download the thing and then go be the change maker that we know you can be.
Have a great week. Enjoy the hottest week of the year in the UK.
My word. Which is why, of course, we've been doing the angelic kind of look up here. We could not turn off the sun. Right, on that note, we're going. Bye.
See you guys.